All right, let me see if we can catch something now. You ready?
Yeah. I'm always ready when I'm fishing with my buddy, David Genevico, because I never know what to expect.
And there is a bunch of fish right there. Oh, watch this. Golly.
These days, David is one of the hottest bass tournament anglers around.
Shut her down. Game on.
I, on the other hand, am more at home with a fly rod in a trout stream. Not bad.
Oh, that was a chunk.
No matter. I love all kinds of fishing, which is why I wanted to pick up some pre-tournament tips from one of the best.
I've been coming out here and practicing every Friday at least before the tournament. And I spend 75% of my day looking for new stuff.
David loves Kentucky Lake because the grass on the bottom has returned, making for big bass and a much healthier body of water.
Come here, girl. I use 20-pound fluorocarbon and I use a heavy rod. This is a All-Pro APX extra heavy because that thing has got so much metal to it. When you get a bite, you've really got to set the hook on them.
You know, I may be a trout fisherman, but I'm used to your wily ways.
That's not a bad fish. That's a 3-pounder. I can't believe I bring you out here to all my top secret holes and you're catching my little pet.
David is a die-hard crankbait fisherman, but on a pre-fishing run, he's likely to use anything that he thinks will get a strike. He doesn't mind experimenting because this day is all about finding his fish. That's why he's using a fluttering spoon.
When this thing falls, I don't know if you can see it. You see all that flash that it puts out when it falls? It just kind of goes every direction and there's no rhyme or reason to how it falls, and they knock the fool out of it.
It's not long before bass start hitting like there's no tomorrow.
I'm just gonna throw it out there and let it get the bottom and then
stroke it up.
You're just sweeping it. I mean, I've caught them, God, one knock.
I guess they hit it on the drop?
They hit it on the fall.
Yeah.
Like that.
The good thing about catching fish this way is that even if you miss one, chances are another one or two will hit the spoon quickly.
This is so fun. God, they hit it so hard.
We're having so much fun, I'm beginning to believe David's got the right idea. Fish Kentucky Lake on a beautiful summer day and just keep chunking and winding, hunting for those hungry bass.
Fishing a crankbait, especially a deep running crankbait, is a great way to get to these fish that are holding off these deep drops. The most important thing is to have your bait running straight. If it runs off to the left or the right, you need to tweak it. The way to do that is whichever way it's running, bend the eye in the opposite direction. A true running crankbait will always outfish one that's not running the way it should.
But to me, my favorite thing about tournament fishing is finding them, because it's so exciting to pull up on someplace you've never fished before and find a school of big fish.
Locating fish is David's goal because fish are always moving. Fish that were there one day might not be there the next.
I really try to find stuff that's a little bit less obvious, because you may find 3 schools of really good fish, but if they're right where everybody's fishing, you may never get on them during the day. But if I find 3 places that are a little bit off the beaten path, I'll feel real good because I can kind of rotate through them.
David knows the challenge of bass fishing is not only finding them, but finding out what they're hitting. One day it might be a spoon, the next day a worm or a jig, but one technique remains constant.
The way I like to fish most of the time is to keep the ledge about 15 feet from the boat so that when I pull my bait, I can kind of work it down to the bottom of it. So yeah, I'm using the depth to position the boat, but I'm also looking at the GPS.
There were no trophies caught on this day.
I mean, a hog. I would like to thank all my sponsors for allowing me to be able to put fish like this in the boat.
But as any angler knows, a good sense of humor keeps you coming back another day.
Yeah, you come to Kentucky Lake and you catch big uns.
I'm Chris Nishin on Tennessee's Wild Side.